Hello, hello, hello. Yes, now it works. Perfect. All right, so I think that should be fine. Always, or not always, sometimes when I boot Linux and I Windows, it fucks up my microphone on Linux. And the other way. Not quite sure. What can you do? All right, welcome. Let's get right into it, I guess. I did a little bit of research, and yeah, I think we can get the grid shader today better. Because when I use the shader toy version, which seems to work on shader toy, but it's not really what he implemented for Unreal and Unity. And then I took a look at the Unity shader, specifically this one here. And I found a couple of things slightly different than what he was claiming beforehand. So yeah, we're going to take a look at that again. And we will probably take this shader more or less one-to-one and convert it to another Onyx Engine shader. The thing is, he uses a Macron, which we would most likely not do. But then again, it's a little bit weird that you have this axis here, which confused me a little bit. Okay. Plane axis. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he will use that for. Wait, I don't know how Unity shaders like work, what that translates to. So but it shouldn't matter. Only thing I don't really get about the shader really know that this guy anyways is that we have like attached to a line. And I animated it to actually you can see it here in here. Like see like the different colors based on if it's behind the 0.1. I don't think I care about that to be honest on my view. So probably we just need to what is the screen grids done? So for that we will look at some UV. I guess it's this right. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's this. Alright, but is it this one? So that's the UV. And you have like minor and major like lines because it has like a split here, right? Or you go down here, you can see like the light red, like thinner lines. Those are the different line maps. But I'm wondering. Smooth stop. So I think it's this line, and then okay, yeah. It's the invert. Yeah, we again move that. Okay, I mean, I see. Well, alright, let's try to get started. So where we left off last time is this, where we have the grid in our camera. So that's not ideal. And the first thing I want to change about that is we basically get rid of all of that. We don't need that. And the only thing I need is basically the same thing that we do in the debug draw shader. Which is basically this. Because that basically gives us a full screen coordinate, UV based, like, and then we can use that to get the rest. Now we get rid of, well, we can keep it up for now. We get rid of that. And I think this is correct. Yeah. So we just need to do the position a little bit better. Basically, we have a vec for view near, which is our view where it's basically this, right? Times a vec4 of our NDC and a 0. Now we have a vec5, which is basically the same, just with the 1 here. Oh, well, and then we as well need to do view near is that divided by view near W, and the same for far, so that we normalize it again. I'm pretty sure that's needed. And then we still do a kind of array. It's not really a ray cast, it's basically just a ray check. If we are on the plane that we want to render or not.
So that is basically our U view constants, inverse view matrix. And that's very similar to what we already do in a lot of other shaders. X, Y, Z. Number 3. Ray end is basically, hey, we just started. How is it going for you? Hope it's going good for you as well. But I analyzed a little bit more the blog post, and I realized that the shader toy version is not really what he was using that in the end. So we will basically implement the proper version that he has. Because in the article or in the blog post, I took the shader toy version as the reference, and it works, I think, mostly, but it has some weirdness sometimes, because I tried it then in like a different setup, and the lines were like behaving weird, let's put it that way. It's probably something that he does here that I missed. But then I took a look at his Unity shader, and it's doing more or less the same. There are noises. I mean, maybe. Let me check if it's using the right microphone. Well, it looks it's using the right one.
But
As well, I had an issue with the microphone today. Noise when I'm speaking. Okay, so maybe now some noise suppression does not work. Weird. Let me get the stream quickly on my monitor. So what is the noise that is there? So what is the noise that is there? I mean, maybe it was just background noise. I'm not sure. Okay, good. No worries. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so he does a little bit stuff differently in this Unity shader. Not a lot, but like the fog thing and stuff like that, it's definitely different than what he does here. Here he does like some exponential fade off of the grid, whereas here it's just a blur of the colors. But let's see. But basically I want to implement this one because it's anyways the version that I want, because it has different grid sizes and the colored lines, but the colored lines is not really that important. I mean, it's nice to have in the end, but the different grid size is definitely something that I want, and this is basic. This part here is basically just the pristine grid function, right? And then it's like 2 times for the minor and major grid things. So we are looking at this, and then we will probably implement that one. So basically, if our ray direction, so here we just need to add other orientations. Because what we just do is here, if the ray direction is in y less than 0.001 f. I mean, I guess we could do epsilon, right? I'm not sure if I have to actually define somewhere. Then we just discard it here. And otherwise, we take our float t, which is basically where we hit, I think. When that, well, it's and then if our t here is as well below 0, then we discard as well. That is just ray casting basically against this plane on the y-axis basically. It's not really ray casting, right? It's more like a plane versus ray check. And then we have our 3-word position, which is our ray origin times t, well, or plus ray direction times t, so that's what I wanted to do. And that's the hit position basically. And then let's see. I think with this one, I can already do a couple of things. We can already try something, which is vec2 of the ddx in workspace. Is our df dx of the word position x z, because that's the plane we are interested in, right? And then this is ddy, this. And we have vec4 uv, which is our vec4 of that, and that, oops. Divided by, well, divided by nothing for now, I think. And now we need the derivatives of that. Derivatives, I think is the word. Spelled correctly, hopefully. And that is the length of this in xz. Why is that even a vec4 to begin with? Why did I... Why is that a vec4? I don't think so, right? Why is it vec4? Why is that returning? Is that returning a 2? A float 2? Maybe. I mean, probably it is, otherwise that wouldn't make any sense, right? That's YW. Okay, so that's basically this part here, right? And with that, I think we could try to call this here, which is basically, I think this is our UV derivatives x, y. Let's see what that does. It probably fails because I most likely did a mistake. Yeah, of course. Did I do? Or did I quit that? U constants undeclared. Identify. Did it again. Okay, well, I mean, I think it's kind of working, we just don't have it inverted probably. But yeah, we have on the Y plane now white. Which kind of works, kind of doesn't work. But it's already a little bit better. Let me see what else he does. I mean, we can try to get the two axis lines right in, right? I mean, let's try to do that. So basically, I think I will kill this function. I mean, maybe I will find a way to encapsulate it into a function again, I don't know, but let's for now not do that, let's do that. And then let's create a couple of consts like he has here at the top. We probably want to fill them from C++ in the end, but for now let's do a couple of them as a const. Or do we already fill it from... Maybe we fill it already from debug draw. Let's already do that. Fuck it. Push constants. So we need load major, or like I'm not sure what I could call it. What does he call it? Major grid divisions. It's basically how many cells are in one major cell is what that is. I mean, maybe we do just grid size or cell count, grid cell count. And I think we would always need this to be an int, I'd say. And it technically can't be negative, so let's do an uint. I guess we could even save space, but I'm not sure if I can have push constants that are a uint 8, for example. So let's not do that. Now we have a float major line width, which let's set that to 0.4 now. Float minor line width. which is 0.2, which is half. Actually, it seems like I did, like, think I should do that. I think that might, yeah, because I think it's this, but I mine is like 1 power higher than that. And then we have this, but I want to probably remove that, but let's keep it for now. My x is dash scale, and here it's like 0.133. That's basically the word units apart between the dashes in the negative direction, because as you can see here in this image, the lines are dashed in the negative direction, which I probably want to get rid of, but let's see. Yeah, I don't think I need the dashes, but I will keep the line dash for now, and then let's see when we are down here where I need to remove it. It's probably just this part here that needs to change for that. And then wherever that is used, basically. Which is, I think, here, this lerp that needs to change. I mean, maybe we just... let's get rid of it right away. Let's not do it. So that is gone, and now we have a float. Well, actually, that's it, I think. I don't think I need more than that. Well, I need a couple more values. So one is 1 u and access colors. And we probably have like 3 entries here. But I guess I could do access. Wait, can I even do that? I probably can't do that, right? I need to define that in C++. Let's actually do that, maybe. That follows the same principle as I do in C++, right? Well, not really, actually. Let's do that. Or can I do that? Oh, that looks weird, right? I think it has to be that. I think... Oh yeah, and then one more. Which is just a normal line color. Well, actually, we might have more, like, minor and major, right? Something along those lines might work. I think that's all I need. Probably. Yes, y plus is up in my coordinate system. I actually wanted to do a... Because I'm not sure when I have time, but I wanted to do a... I mean, not really a survey, but maybe a question and like a poll on the Discord, even though there is not a lot of people. Because I'm wondering if because I want to have it like closer to what math is doing than what games usually are doing. That's why I have Y up and Z into the camera is positive and away from the camera is negative. So Y forward is negative usually. And I'm wondering if it... So basically it's the same, I think. Right-handed coordinate system. So it is a right-handed coordinate system currently. Yeah, it's basically this, right? Well, yeah, it's this. So the Z goes into the camera, right? Y goes up and X goes to the side. It's this one here. But I'm wondering if it, because that's very game specific. In math, usually this would be the Y coordinate and this would be the Z coordinate. So Z would be up and Y would be the forward vector. It would be more like this, right? This is more like what math would be. Where the Y and X are on the plane and Z goes up. And I'm wondering if that would make more sense to do, or if that just confuses people. Because that would be closer to, I think, Blender. Blender 3D, I think, has that coordinate system. Yeah. See, so it's set up, Y to the right, X to the... Or like, I mean, which one the Y and X is just an orientation thing, right? But Z is up, and then X is to the side, and Y is into the camera. So it would be closer to what Blender is doing. Is that good? I don't know. There's no really right or wrong, it's all just oriented, like different rotations of the same thing. I just wondered if it is smarter to just stick with what Blender is doing, then it maybe is more intuitive for people, that like artists. Yeah, but that would speak to the thing that I should change to what Blender is doing, right? So Z should be up and not Y. And would change a little bit like in the editor, right? The Z coordinate is up and down and not the Y coordinate is up and down. So it would change a little bit in like the where you enter your values and stuff like that. But in the end, it's just a matter of taste. So it doesn't really matter, it's just something that I thought of. Because currently there is not really any project or anything on the engine, so it's easier to change it now than later. But whatever. Just some food for thought. Grid task. Drag constants. Alright, and then we basically have the same thing here. Let's say U in 32P. Okay. Unfortunate. Okay, well, 32. need to. Oops, X, Y, Z. Did I do that in the shader room? Oh yeah, I did. X, Y, Z. Okay. It's really not what I wanted. Grid cell count is, let's do 10. Major line width is at this 0.2. Minor. Major line color. I think is a red. Well, oh yeah, that's something new, right? So I think I have Onyx colors. White. To RGBA. And then I just need to include that here. And that would be base. Then we have x-axis color. And for now, what we will do is basically do the same thing, just I think I have colors for it, but let's do that. Green. And then set push constants. So push constants, find push constants. Okay. Constants. Why is that looking so weird? Whatever. So that should push those, which is great. So we should have all of those informations now there, and then we can let's do just the major grid for now, right? Oh, there's one more thing that he does, which he does here, which is some camera centering offset. We need to do the same. It's basically that the grid is always centered, like with the UVs around the camera, to avoid some floating point precision issues. It's mostly why I think he does that. So let's do that. So before doing this, basically, before calculating the dx and dy stuff, we need to do division, basically, which is a max between. We have this as a min grid cell size. I don't know if we need that, but and then we have where we don't need around, right? Major RU constants. Major, well, actually bit circle, right? I think is it. And then we have like 3. Okay, where the think I don't need that actually. Vec2 camera centering offset, which is the same that he had in his vertex shader, is a floor between our ray origin xz divided by this division times this division. So that basically clamps it right into the range of this. Or maybe then we need a float to have it probably do the division correctly. But yeah, that basically moves the position to a multiple of this division. Of the origin of this thing. And then we can do the vec2 centered UV, basically our vert position xz minus this camera centering offset. Then we have the vec2 vert UV, which is our vert position xz, just like that. So this is like the offsetted, like to the center, like not to the center, but to like grid cells, multiple of grid cells, and this is the one which we really are at. Then yeah, we still do this and this, that's fine. And then I am curious, so this is the major line, this is the minor line, but what is that? Exit lines to beautiful. Heck. Nice. It seems like he's drawing the lines here in word space. For whatever reason. I mean, let's do that, I guess, for now. Until I understand it. Let's try to get it work first and then analyze it back. Is our max between... Or let's do just our axis line width, right? No. Major line width, thank you. And then vec2 is our axis draw width, which is the max between our vec2 of this and the UV derivative, basically, of the thing. So we never want to be bigger than, yeah, basically this, the change in the UVs. And then we have an axis line. That's the anti-aliasing part, which it does here times 1.5. Is that the... I think those are the... yeah, those are the colored axis lines. That's what they are. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Now I understood it. Well, it's not a smooth. It is a smooth step, right? Here, between our axis draw width plus our axis line AA, and then axis draw width minus axis align AA. And then we smooth step between that and our vertical V times 2. It's basically this here, right? Now we need this one, which is axis lines equals the clamp between our axis line width divided by our axis draw width, which gives us a 0 to 1. But let's just be sure that it is 0 to 1, right? I think it does that as well. Well, it does a saturate, which is basically the same thing as a clamp. So that would be the colored line. And then he has here the dashes, right? So that would be the dashes, which we said we don't do. And then let's see if we can output that already. So basically, oh no, I probably still need to probably still need to do a thing with the grid cell right here, because there is nothing with the grid cell here yet. That all comes here. Because then he takes... That is basically the color. And then he lerps here this color, right? Yeah. So I'm not... Yeah, I think we can't do just the grid lines. At least I think. But I mean, we can do just the major one, right? Like just this part. Should be enough, or can I? Maybe just let me think. So this is the dash thing. And then here, that would just be a axis color, not the dash, B axis color. Well, I guess I could just do that, right? So that would be vec 2. Oh, I need to break apart the color. Unless I push here vec 3s. Is it better? Probably right. Although it's quite a lot bigger. So maybe not. One way would be to have the function here to convert it, right? Basically a vec 4. Oops. And then this is basically a return of a vec 4, which is Carlo shifted like that by 24. But that would be alpha, right? Is it U in 80? I forgot what it is. Shader. Young shader. Graph nodes, no. Oh, here. Is it this? No, it's probably U in 8T, yeah. Times 255. No, divided by 255. That would be the alpha. Oops. Eight. Well, actually, sorry. It's RGBA, so then it's 8, then it's 16, and then it's 24. I think that should do it, right? And that should give me a color between 0 and 1. And then this is our... Well, the center color for now we ignore, but... Do I need to mask them? Oh, hold on, wait, where? I don't think I need to, or... Because the uint 8 will just cut off everything afterwards. Or am I mistaken? Where would that be? God damn it. I think I have it here in Imgue, right? Convert plot 4 to U32, that's the wrong one. I want the other one. Oh, it's probably there, right? U32 to... So he's shifting, then he is ending it, and then he is dividing it. Oh, but he is not casting it, right? He's just shifting. So that is definitely not the same, because... I mean, I guess I could do the end as well, it doesn't really matter. So that's just 255, right? So basically he is not casting it to a U in the 8, but in my mind that should be this. This should work. Because that should take the least significant 8 bits. I don't want to erase anything there, and so forth. I think it should be fine. So that would then be, well, we can do a vec4 axis line color is, well, what is it actually? A axis line color. And then B axis color is, why is he doing this? Oh, okay. That's where he puts in the center color. I think I don't need that. Can I not just do that? Leave out this? Because I don't really care about the center color is... it's hard to see, but there is a white dot here in the middle where the two axes come together. I don't think I need that as well. So I might consider removing that. Then I think it's just this. Which would be vec4. Well, let's get axis line color. Let's do axis line color 0. Let's do X. So that would be that. And then we have vec 4 axis line colors. Axis line color is a mix between our Z axis color, or our X line color 1, times the axis line Y, and our axis line color 0, axis X. I think that should be that. And then what we do is a vec for final color, I guess, is 1 f minus our axis fine color dot in the alpha channel basically times the max of oh wait, that's the inversion. I think I don't need that yet, sorry. That's when we have the other grid lines. I think we don't need that for now. Non-axis color times max of where of that. I think. Yeah. And then we do a distance fog again, so float, fog, or like distance, fade. Here's a smooth stop. Between, let's do our view constants are minus, or let's do like 90% of that, or like 95% of that. And then our view constant bar. So basically in the last 5% of our view distance, the fog applies. And then our final color in the alpha channel scale based on that distance factor. And then if our final color in the alpha channel is less than, again, the epsilon, we discard. Otherwise, that is our final color. I think, well, if it builds, that's the other thing. If the shader builds, that could be it. If it doesn't build, we will instantly find out. Probably doesn't, right? I always make mistakes in shaders. Of course I did. 87. Oops. 87, go. Maybe not. Ah, here. Wait, I even forgot a couple of things. This one here. And then this is a vec 4. Oh, there is a red line. Did I really do it correct? First try? Where? Oh yeah, there is a blue line as well. Nice. Okay, they're inverted, right? Should be the other way around. Red and blue should be the other way around, but despite that, kind of works. I mean, that's surprising. I guess we have to flip it then. That would be sad, and that would be X. Yeah. Nice. I'm not sure, is it visible in the stream? I hope it is, right? It's a little bit subtle currently. But here are the lines. I think now you can see it better. I think I will get something to drink, and then we will do the minor and major grid. But that was surprising that I worked on the first try. I didn't think I would have done that. Because it's only half the shader, right? I only took the pieces for the axis lines, and that just straight up bugged. Nice. Alright, be right back. Getting something to drink. Oh, what is that? Ah, those are the Ingwe stuff, okay. Still weird that they render on top. I still need to figure that one out as well. They shouldn't be rendering here. Alright, be right back. Getting something to drink. All right. Some more water. And then let's add, I guess, a major and minor grid on top of that. Another thing I could, well, maybe we'll do that later, because that would be a change from what the shader actually has, like what this shader does, right? But what I think want to have is, even though the plane is here and the grid will be here, I think I still want the y-axis as well to be shown. So we will do that, which should actually not be that hard to do, because it's probably just changing here this part. Well, we need to change a couple of things here, right? We need to do some more work where we do this in a different dimension, as well as this. Well, we can actually do this probably in all directions. I think that doesn't harm. Well, I guess can leave it like that. I don't know. I think that's actually, yeah, that's actually one more thing that I want to do here. This hue and probably grid direction, right? Well, it's probably, maybe we do a vector then, a vec3 for that. And that would basically define where the plane is that we want to interfere with. Currently it's like very hard coded here to the Y plane because of this. Alright, let's do the grid first. Let's do that first and then let's, well, yeah. And then let's tweak it. So those are the access line colors, right? Well, actually this one will stay. Major grid lines. And now let's do minor grid lines, and they are basically more or less a copy of each other, just with different dimensions, right? Hello. Okay, so every U constant grid cell count Well, actually, let's try to write a nicer comment. The grid consists of major and minor cells. U constant grid cell count. Yes, I want to do that as well. That's why I have it as a push constant. But not necessarily. I want to support two things. One is probably somewhere here or in the plugin window here, like not plugin, but in an overlay window here. I want the user to be able to set the grid cell size, right? And then as well, I would want to have it scale when you're further away, that it scales. So it's like two things that I would want to have. One is you can set the base size, and then the other one is that it scales based on the camera as well. I want to have like both. And maybe you can disable the camera distance one or something like that with the toggle as well, so that it doesn't do it if you want to have like a perfectly sized grid the way you define it. Just ours. So we will do most of, we will do most of it today, I think. Derivatives, which is our UV derivative divided by our U. Well, actually, let's do a float here. Do I need this float? Probably actually not. I think that is just U constants. Well, not U U constants. Cell, a grid cell. Maybe I changed that to minor. I don't know, it's like a shitty name. I think I want to have a better name for that. Divided by... Why? Would I divide that? Did I really? Does he really do that? Yeah, he really divides it. I'm not quite sure why he divides it here. That is something I don't quite understand. This one I understand, but that one... That one is a little bit bizarre to me, but fine. Major raw width is again a max of our major line width and our major UV derivatives. Well, yeah, we clamp it here, I guess. Between this, which is a vec2, we need to convert that to a vec2. And then this. And vec2 of u.5, because we definitely don't want to go lower than that, I think. And then let's do a vec2 major line AA again, which is our major UV derivative scaled by 1.5. Maybe we do a const for that. On the aliasing factor. Not sure ever would I ever want to change it, but why not change that to a constant? Because I think it makes a little bit more sense. And then we have our vec2 major grid UV, which is 1 whole minus the absolute of our centered UV divided by the grid division. Times 2.0 minus 1.0. And then yeah, here we need to... It's I think here, right? Exactly, adjust here the lines so that we don't draw them on top of the red and blue line, like basically the axis lines. With lines so they are not drawn off the axis lines. So we basically have a major axis offset here, which is again 1.0 f minus our minus a clamp, the absolute of our world UV, because we draw them in the world UV space, the axis lines, divided by our U constants, the grid cell count times 2.0 that we clamp between 0 and 1, of course, because that's a factor. And then we do that times 2. The major grid UV plus equals this one. And then we have our back to major grid vectors, I guess, or is a smooth step, and that's very similar to what we have here, right? Guess we could copy that here. That is basically our major draw width plus our major line AA, and then this is as well major draw width minus our major line AA, and we can already see the pattern here now, right? And then this is the major grid UV. And then we need to do the whole shenanigans for the clamping and stuff like that. So major grid lines. And then we multiply equal that with the clamp, our major line width, divided by our major draw width to give us again a value between 0 and 1. And then we do that, and that is equal here. And clamp again in our major grid lines minus our axis lines between 0 and 1. And then we do a mix between our major grid lines and the vec2 of our major line width. And we do that with a clamp, with a factor basically of our major derivatives times 2.0 minus 1.f. That brings it into a scale of, that brings it into minus 1 to 1, I think. No, that brings it to 0 to 1, I guess. Yeah. And that is basically all of this. That would be the major grid lines, if I'm not mistaken. And then we could try to color that. Alright, let's bring in the major grid lines. So what we need to do is here we have our axis lines. And then here we bring out our Vec4 final color is a mix of, well, actually I think here we don't need a mix yet because we don't have the minor color yet. Well, I mean, maybe. We do that first, and then we do a Vec4 final color. Well, final color is a mix between our final color, our U constants major line color, which we need to convert. Major line color, and our major grid lines times our major line color dot alpha. I think. And then here we need to change that. That is our thing with our final color. And now we need this part here. And we need to invert the excess line color here. That plus that. I think. That is basically this. So that's minor, that's major, and then here this is the one minus that. Although he doesn't do this max here. Maybe I can leave that out. Or let's see what comes out first. Of course the shader error comes out as usual. 98. Unexpected semicolon. Gee, that is that would be probably hard to find. Okay, that looks fine. That looks fine. That doesn't look fine. Is it like that? No. Right, this is at the end. I think that was probably the... I don't know, okay, it was not all of it. Mix. Okay. First of all, I saw that I have here. Then there is a mix that he doesn't like. It's probably not that one, right? Did maybe this one? Which mix do you not like? Would be hard to find. Cannot convert from const float to... Hmm. It's probably not that one, right? So it's most likely this mix. I mean, I don't know, that was like something of a const float, so let's see if it was that, but I mean, that would be kind of weird. Yeah, it's not that. 112, the problem is that my shader numbers are wrong. So 112 would be here, but it's probably not that, right? Then again, it might be this one. Let's see. We have this here, which is a mix of major grid 2 and the major line width. And here we claim when this... Oh, is it like that? Probably right. And then this is the clam. And that's the mix. Maybe. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so it was this mix. That's wrong. So that's a vec 4, that's a vec 4, and then it doesn't like that? Why does it not like that? Or is it maybe here that it doesn't like something here? Let's see, this one was a 1 minus. Well, let's actually just do that. Okay, no, it doesn't like that mix. Why? Oh wait, it's maybe not that. Oh yeah. I can. I forgot one thing, which is where is it? Major grid. Here he does this one, which we need to do. So what we need to do is here float major grid is a mix between our major grid lines x 1.f based on the major grid lines y. Major grid factor, I guess. Alright, so I think that should be better. Yes. Perfect. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Maybe it really is the best damn grid shader. Holy shit. That looks actually super nice. Like there's no pattern at all in the distance or anything. I'm not sure if it's easy to see on the stream, but there's like really no aliasing or anything, or like more yaya pattern or whatever. It's just fading out very, very nicely. There's like nothing here in terms of artifacts or something like that. That's pretty cool. I think what I don't like is how hard it is a little bit to see the grid lines. So maybe I will do something about that. I think we could do axis line width. And then here, axis line width. And then we need to go to our debug grid task. Did not thicker, maybe around. Maybe, I don't know. Let's do it like super intense. I mean, that would probably, maybe it's too thick, I don't know, maybe it won't be like too much. I mean, that's okay. But it's maybe still a little bit too... But at least you see it now. So that's a good thing, but you don't see the red line, which is what is a little bit sad. I mean, actually from the top you see it quite nicely. Yeah, I mean, maybe something like that. It could be a little bit less thick, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe 1 is too much, yeah. Let's do 0.6, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's better. Nice. Okay. That would be number 1, and that is the major grid lines, and then let's do the minor grid lines, which basically is a copy paste. So I'm thinking of maybe doing it, maybe copying, like maybe extrapolating that into a function, because I mean basically it's kind of the same. It's pretty much, I think, yeah, it's pretty much the same, except for that we are not dividing here. But otherwise it's 1-to-1 the same. So I'm wondering if it would make sense to actually do something about that. Let's take it for now like that, and then we can still make it nice afterwards, I guess. Okay, so we basically have a float minor line width, which is a min. Oh, okay, I see. Do I really need that? Probably not, right? So let's do u constants. He clamps it basically between the. So he takes the minimum between the minor and the major line width. If you for some reason said it wrong, but I will probably not allow you to set that anyways, but yeah. So the target width is basically, I think, what we want to. Invert a line. I'm still somehow fat fingering sometimes the U and Y and stuff like that in autocompletes in NeoVim. I'm really trying to get used to it, but really hard. My fingers can't do it. So the minor draw width is basically, again, as well a clamp between a vec2 of our. It's basically the same thing, right? Minor line width. Well, actually here it's the minor target width, yeah. Because I want to have that. And then our UV derivatives. And again a vec2 0.5. And that's basically, as you can see, the same thing as we have here. And then we basically copy paste it's very much the same principle, which is why I think we might be able to encapsulate that into a function. Especially he does the same thing multiple times here. Like this is the same as here, right? So why even... Oh wait, no, it's not the same because that's the major derivatives and that like is the one like every n step. And this is the actual UV derivatives. Yeah, so it's not the same, okay. I think this is the same, right? Those two are the same. The axis lines and the minor lines, I guess, are the same. So it could be... we could simplify those at least. Of centered UV times 2.0 f over, sorry, rec minus 1.0 f and minor grid UV is our minor invert. Well, sorry, I called it invert line. Then again, skip are basically this, right? But this one skip push lines, so they are not drawn on top of major lines. Huh? How did I do that? Okay, whatever. Yeah. So this is a minor, or like minor x is also. And that is 1 minus this minus, so 1 minus lamp of 1 minus the absolute of the fraction of our word UV divided by our grid cell count times 2 minus 1.f times the U constants grid cell count, and then that one so it's this this, right? Let me see. It's 1 minus, so this is the fraction, this is the absolute, and he multiplies, and this is the clamp, and then he multiplies that and multiplies that. Okay, so it would be, Jesus, too much spaces, right? So it's clamp of 1 minus the absolute of the fracture of those two times 2 minus 1f, that's the absolute. Then we do the grid circle. And then we do it times. No, that's here already, the times. Jesus. Too complicated, too many parentheses. 1 minus this. Absolute. 1 parenthesis closed. Times 2 minus 1. 1 parenthesis closed. Another one closed. Times this. Then we don't close that. Then we do this and then times 2. I think that's correct now. I hope it is. And then the minor grid minus offset. If not, we will definitely see it. And minor grid lines. I mean, basically we copy that last thing. So that is minor target width probably, well, or minor drone width because we have that already. Then minor line A. Minor grid UV. Minor line width. Well, sorry, the minor target width divided by the major draw width. And this is minor grid lines versus the axis lines. Yeah. Then we have a mix between our minor grid lines. And this is the minor target width. And then this is the UV derivatives. And then we need to do some more stuff because of the inversion. So if we invert it, and we do 1 point minus minor grid lines, I guess. Otherwise it's minor grid lines. And then, yeah, suppress, or like, don't draw minor grid lines on axis lines. And we don't do that based on the vector 2 if it's less than the bird UV. And that is this. Basically. Or, yeah, this last line here. Alright. Then we do this. We have a minor red factor. It's actually a good line. Like that. Then it's just down here, right? You're adjusting over the color. So basically we do this. This is final color with the minor line color. Minor red line factor. Minor line color. And then we mix, and everything should be beautiful. And it doesn't work, of course, because I did something wrong again somewhere. I guess I missed a semicolon or something like that. Somewhere. Either I missed a semicolon or I did something somewhere, right? Wrong. Which I wouldn't be surprised. A 107 or something like that it was. Alright. Is it 107? Great, oh shit, 107. So it's before this line somewhere. I really hate that. It's always a pain to find that. I guess what happens if we take that out again? Okay, so that works. So it's something here. I guess we can just try to comment in slowly. Okay, so that already doesn't work. Okay, am I? Oh wait, there is a missing parenthesis. Okay. So maybe it was just that. No, it was not. Oh, grid circle. Oh, I see. Yeah. That doesn't do what I was imagining it to do. Oh. I forgot that. Okay. Well, we have a minor and the... Well, the scaling is now a little bit sus, right? Because we have like way too coarse grid here. But in theory it works. Well, does he have a different color for the minor and major grid? No, he has the same, but maybe I'm doing a different color for it. I don't know. I could imagine it being like a little bit different color, right? So let's maybe do... Do I have a color though, is the question. I mean, I guess I have a gray, so we could probably do minor in gray. Or something like that. Okay, yeah, I mean, that already looks a little bit better. Maybe the white is too much as well. We could do proper colors for it. And now we only need to scale it, basically. Because that's like fixed size currently. But I mean, that still already looks quite good. I mean, as I said, it's like way too much in the distance. I think if I'm like that close, that's fine, right? It can be like that. Fine like that. But maybe even that is too much. I don't think I need one. Like currently that's like one word unit, right? If I go here. I think it's way too small. Because I don't think I need this to be like 1, right? Because that's like 1x, 2x, etc. And it's nice, but I think it's... Unless you're like this close, I don't think it matters. So let's do another thing. Do we do it here? No, probably... I think it should be in the shader, probably. Do I have a better color as well? I think I want to have different shades of gray. I don't have... I think it looks jagged because I don't have anti-aliasing, I think, on in Vulkan, to be honest. I don't think I do anything there. I think, don't I need to enable something in Vulkan itself as well? But yeah, here it looks a little bit jagged, yeah. But as soon as I'm here, it will looks fine again. It's maybe the like the width of the line. That's too little. I don't know. But yeah, here it looks a little bit weird. But I'm not sure why. But yeah, that's definitely something we could look into eventually as well. That's what he claimed, but I guess it doesn't really work, right? Or maybe I need to increase the anti-aliasing factor, I don't know. Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, in theory, it should have a... I think this minor target width should be the thing that counteracts that, but it seems like it's not working. Because I would have assumed that this minor target width ensures that it stays fine. But I guess it doesn't. Unless I'm doing something wrong, I don't know. But I mean, that's irrelevant, that's the dashing of the lines. I mean, I can see if this is... I have a different logic down here, right? Which might be... but I doubt that this is the issue. So that is 1 minus that plus the access lines. But yeah, as it was not on the access line, I don't think this makes a whole lot of a difference. Yeah. It doesn't, because they're still here. I don't know. Oh wait, I think... it's only around the camera where that happens. It's only in this weird circle in between the camera. It's like a perfect circle around the camera. Maybe it's some floating point position stuff. It might be some floating point stuff. Yeah, I think it might be related to still some float issue. I will look at that, but I don't think it's a necessary... Yeah, you can see something changing with the line when I'm coming in front with the camera, then suddenly it breaks here. So it's something with, yeah, the camera. There's probably something with this center ring here that's off, I'd assume. But not sure. But that's my current best guess. That is something with this centering here. That breaks. I think the best would be then with render doc to look at that. I think one thing I want to do and try is actually scale the grid. We should do it by camera distance, but I want to try it first, like hard coded basically. So what I would need to do is probably do where would that be? I think we do it here, so basically a float scale. And let's do it 10 for now. It is kinda in the article, it's in his vertex shader he does it. But maybe I'm not doing it correctly. He uses a mesh, that's like one thing, to render the plane. I'm doing a full screen shader, but that shouldn't make a difference. But then this is his like word centering offset thing. And I think I'm doing the same thing, but maybe not. Although he does some stuff here, which maybe I'm not doing. I'm not sure. Yeah, I need to look at that. Maybe this is like a trick to do far off the word origin. Maybe I shouldn't do that if I'm close to the origin, right? Maybe that like counteracts. Maybe I should do like if I'm close to the origin, don't do that. Because it creates issues close to the origin. Although that wouldn't make sense because he wants to get into the origin with that offset so that it's more precise. Yeah, I don't know. Probably I'm doing something wrong there. Because it doesn't look exactly the same. But yeah, I think I will look at that later. That's already good enough. The scaling I wanted to do, so I think the scaling needs to happen somewhere here. So I think what I need to do where? Load scale factor maybe is our grid scale times our division. So this one, and then this is here our scale factor, and then this is our scale factor. And then we need to here the centered UV. I think we need to divide by our grid scale, and this one we as well need to do by our grid scale. And then this one I think we as well need to divide by our grid scale. I think. That looks better, yeah. Although the lines are bigger. I think the lines are bigger as well, right? Maybe not something what we want. But it definitely was. Eh, did I not? What? Did I? Yeah, I guess I did something weird. Oh yeah, okay. I removed that by accident. Yeah, okay, so it definitely scaled it. So doing that by 10 now means each unit, each cell is like 10 wide. And then there should be 100, yeah, 100. Okay. Nice. So I guess we could push that and say like, for example, 100, and then this is like 1000. Yeah. And it's maybe nice that the lines scale. Because I mean, we would assume that the camera is further away, right? So scaling the lines kinda makes sense. But maybe it shouldn't scale like that much, I don't know. But I mean, that's pretty nice. And that's like the distance fade here, right? I'm wondering if 95 is too much. Maybe we do 98%. Although it's barely, yeah, I mean it does do a little bit of a difference, right? It does look like maybe a little bit better. Maybe I don't fade at all. Oh, that looks already pretty good. I'm actually very happy. That's a pretty nice grid. That is maybe really the best grid shader. That article didn't lie. It really looks good. Let's see, that's not fade at all, right? Maybe we don't need that. Yeah, I mean that looks fine. Maybe I don't fade at all. Oh wait, actually it was fading to the wrong color, right? Wasn't it? Oh, maybe not actually. Well, we are fading the alpha, so... I don't know. Let's keep it, let's not keep it, I don't know. Maybe it's fine to fade it in the last couple of... I mean, it barely does a difference, to be honest. Except for that we have like this weird white line sometimes then. So maybe the fade should be further. Or closer to the camera, I don't know. Or does it just push the zero, like the weird white line forward? No, it doesn't actually. Not sure. Do I need this discard line? I mean, maybe I don't. No, actually I do, right? Don't I? I mean, maybe not. Let's see what happens if I don't do that. I was wondering maybe I need it because I want to keep the origin map. I mean, maybe that's fine. How about then it does this in the background? No, yeah, I need the discard so that I take the... I think I need the discard so that I take the original color and don't override it. Yeah. Because I want to keep the color whatever is in the buffer, like in the texture. And that would be the sky here. So I think maybe that is just not... If I push that further down, right, that would probably reduce the white line. Yeah, I think just moving that closer might do it. No, this card just doesn't output anything in this pixel, but if there is already color in the pixel, because I'm reusing the render target from the G buffer, then we just keep that color. I think this is a floating point thing, the white line. I'm not sure if I can prevent that. I think that will just make it bigger, right? The white line, I assume. Or maybe not. Oh, but actually it looks better, I think. Or not really. Yeah, I'm not sure what the white line in the background is. I think it's the thing where it doesn't know if it needs to discard or not. But then again, that's like minor. That's already doing it quite like doing this further. That pushed it. Let's see. What if the 10% of the far distance? I mean, maybe that's... it's the edge of the grid that is doing that, I think. This is the edge of the grid, not the edge of the... Yeah, I'm wondering if I can do something about that aliasing there. Turn off the sky, I guess. Can I just delete that? Where'd I do it? Well, actually, I think I can just write out black here. Why does it look like that? That's interesting. Is it maybe... No, I'm not quite sure why that looks like that now. I'm not sure why the lines fade like that. That's weird. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The grid line is fine, this one, right? But the minor and major grid... Oh, is that the centering of the lines? Like... this weird thing here, where... not weird, but this one? That does that? No, but that wouldn't make any sense. But I can't write black in there. Well, I mean, I can maybe write the clear color in there. That's weird. This line is bizarre. Or do I have a... No, I am not sure what that is. What is this? What is this line here? Oh, no, it's gone, I think. Yeah, okay. There was the alpha here. Because probably we still... that probably just introduced some weird artifact, because if it's the same thing, it smooths that, probably it's something weird, yeah. Or maybe let's get rid of that. Let's see. Does it work now again? Oops. But maybe not, because I doubt that this... But this is just still weird. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe it does, right? Because maybe of the blend operation, that might actually be it. Maybe because of the blend operation of my render target. Let's try that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's probably something with the blend operation, yeah. Hey Bambit, nice for dropping in. When the engine is stable, yes, the plan is it hopefully should be stable in the next couple of versions. So currently I am just polishing this, but after that I will, after the grid, which was a side story, like side quest, we go back to the terrain, fix the physics for the terrain, and then I have a game in mind that will utilize the volumetric terrain. So I can't really, don't want to spoil too much about the game yet, but yes, the plan is to have or to work on a game sooner than later, but we need the physics fully implemented, which I hopefully have time to do this month, hopefully. So the plan is, my current plan is to have at the end of the year which is still quite a long time. At the end of the year, I want the engine to be in a state where you can do a game even though you might not be proficient in programming. That would be the idea. So similar to Unreal or something like that. Well, to some extent Unity if you have like some plugins. That would be my goal. Okay, so that kind of works. I think in that case we keep it like that and we really don't discard anything. And we just render it into infinity. Yeah, that looks fine, right? And then in the background here we have the sky color. That looks pretty cool. And I mean, it still does some kind of fade anyways, because it fades with the sky in the distance anyways. So good enough. Good enough for me. Not sure if we will continue to do today or not. Oh wait, the anti-aliasing is gone as well now? Well, I guess my discard and stuff like that was the reason why the lines were broken. Maybe. Well, I guess we should test it, if that was the reason. By reducing the size again. Thank you, David, thank you. I mean, the plan is then as well, as soon as it works like that and people can use... No, it's not the reason, okay. It was just a grid scale issue, so that means it really is probably an issue with the... Yeah, that means it really most likely a floating point issue if it didn't show up with like the bigger lines, but then those, yeah. So it's probably something like that. We will be able to investigate that as well sooner than later, but I might actually... do I continue today? I'm not sure. So the remaining thing would be scaling based on the camera distance and or the... I guess we could do one more thing, which is here at the scale. Do we want to have it? I think it's a... I think we want to have it as a uint. And now we do u constants. Yeah, the plan is to have the engine as well available for other people. I mean, it's currently already available for other people, but you would need to build it yourself. The plan at the end of the year is that there is an executable that you can just get. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I'm stupid. I forgot one thing, which is important. Grid task. Actually, we can do better than that. I think I can do engine variable. You win 32T. Grid scale. So I think I need a name here. Is it like that? I forgot. Maybe. One. I really forgot how that works. Default value, and then we have min and the max. Okay. Min, and let's say the max. Well, we don't need a max probably. And I think then we can do G grid scale get. Let's see if that works. Unfortunate. Oh, okay. What did I do? Major UV derivatives. Oh. I saw it, and then I lost it. Not sure how I did that again. Somehow, I always manage to delete random stuff. Ah, I think I know why. Okay. And now we should be able to have here, yes, editor, grid. And it's unfortunate. Why would that not work? Do I not have? Not that one. Missing semicolon where? No, it was working fine. Where? Until I saved it again and broke it again. Great, yeah. I'm not sure how I managed that all the time, but the issue was this one here. Doesn't have a renderer, but why? Jesus. Stop fat fingering. GUI system. Did I need to wait? Is it that I need to? No, that should work, right? Wait, why is that there? Ah, okay, it's called like that, okay. Oh, that's a shitty name. Or whatever. Why the raw variable runtime type ID? Would I need to do I need to do a property inspector for that or what? You don't look, god damn it, you're on to me. You are on to me. Property inspectors. Yeah, I don't think. Okay. So I guess I would need to register those. Which is something I didn't do, I guess. Which is unfortunate. But can't I just do it then? Can I not go to one of those property inspectors? Wait, there is an engine variable inspector. How do I need to just register that? Is it just that that is missing? Engine variable. Is it just like that? Well, kinda. Did not that? Register inspector. Do I need to include it? No, there is property inspector here. Why would you not like that? Oh, does it not have the correct engine property, engine variable property inspector? Where is it? Yeah. It's just that. Kinda. Okay, where? Oh, okay. Where? That's all fine. Actually, engine variable. Did I fix that? Okay, I did fix that. So that would be get min, get max. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. It's probably I saw that in some other like proprietary engines, and then I thought like I do the same. And to be honest, I kinda like it and I kinda don't like it that I have a macro for it. It's mostly I think the engines used it so that if there is a compiler that doesn't support the no discard, right, you could have a preprocessor that just empty defines that and then it's just nothing. So that would be one thing, but probably there is not really a compiler, like a state-of-the-art compiler that doesn't support it anymore. So I think that was the reasoning behind why those engines that I looked at have a macro for those kind of things. But if I would have to rethink it, I would probably still do a macro, but probably not do it uppercase, but like normal lowercase, like a no discard, because the other reason is I just don't like the syntax. But yeah, I don't like this double bracket syntax too much. But then again, yeah, exactly. Error expected statement. Is it invocable? Do I need to do it like that or what? No. Eh? So that ends here, and that ends here. Is that not how I use it? Why does that work and my invocable thing not? Whatever, for now, I don't care. So, does it work now? Oh yes, we do have it. So I guess if I now do a 10, yes, nice, and 100. Alright. Yeah, probably don't like that the lines... I don't think I like that the lines scale based on this scale. I think it should be a separate thing. I think the line scaling should solely depend on the camera distance. And not on this scale of the grid. But yeah. Basically that's pretty nice. And then we can do 1. We can get close again. Although that's weird, right? Oh, well, actually that's fine. Because we're super far away. But I think... How can I do lower than 1? Probably not, right? I think I clamped it to 1. Oh, because we have an int. I think we don't want to go it lower than 1. I don't think you will ever need something smaller than 1 here. Yeah, I think it's fine that the scale just goes to 1. I thought that I might do like a 0.1, but realistically that doesn't really do anything. And I think the default should be probably 10. I think that makes the most sense because 10 is like 10 centimeters, and that's already quite nice because then one of those is like 1 meter, right? My unit would be the centimeters, so like 100 is like 1 meter, right? So that would be 1 meter of the origin. That would be the idea. That the units are basically that. Alright, but I think I will get some dinner. And then we will... I think I might stream tomorrow and we do the rest. And the rest being the grid scaling based on the camera distance. And it's the camera distance towards this plane. And then we might as well, depending on how quick we get that done, which I don't think it should take too long. We will look at the line scaling as well based on the camera. And oh, that's interesting, it overlaps with those lines or what? This dash is weird, but okay. I'm not quite sure what that is. Anyways. Yeah. That's that. Yeah, and the y-axis as well is true. I wanted to show the y-axis here. So that's one thing, and I would want to have the grid be able to rotate, right? So that you have a grid in the Z y-axis, for example. So it's basically, if you look here, then it would be a straight wall here, so that you can rotate the grid. If you would ever want that. And I want to have it be able that you can offset it up and down as well. So there's still a couple of things that I would want to add. But that should all not be too hard to add. Because that's all just here in the shader. Shader. That's all just in this part more or less. Well, and down here, of course, but because we need to change which coordinates we take here, but it's basically, this is where the grid is, which is currently on y0. Because of this logic here, we need to change that to a proper plane intersection function. And then that's it. Then we can already move it up and down. And then rotating would be the plane normal. And that's about it then. And we would have it. But yeah, I would always want to show all 3 major axes, I think. Alright, cool. Very good progress. And I really like how it looks. It looks very clean. Very, very clean. Didn't expect it to look like that, to be honest. And we are still running basically at, like, I think the grid is very cheap because it's a full screen pass, so shouldn't be too expensive. And it's a editor shader anyway, so that is why it doesn't matter. Alright. Yeah, thank you very much. We will be back tomorrow probably. I think I would want to get this done tomorrow, and then the usual stream schedule would be Wednesday. But if I can do that before then, that would be good. Because then we can start with the terrain again. Thank you. Same to you. I will probably push that soon-ish to Git, and then if you want to look at that. What? No, I don't know that. But what does that mean now for... Damn. I mean, I hope it does turn out good for him. Because that would mean as well that he could lose the revenue, or he has to pay something. Well, I guess I have something to read up. I guess it's on the Discord or something like that. Ah, okay. Damn, I didn't know he did that. Well, that's kinda stupid to do. But I guess you learn. He will not do the same mistake again. Alright. Well, I will look something. I will read that. Maybe it's on Discord, right? I would be curious. Well, then I'm at least happy, because I guess in that case it doesn't lose anything. I thought he got like completely DMCA'd for like, I don't know, stealing the game or whatever, which is not really reasonable, I think, but yeah, because he didn't. But I mean, maybe some weird other tower defense would claim that, I don't know, but yeah. Why is this so weird? Well, now we look at that. I'm not sure what happens here. Why this line looks like that? I have no idea. Anyways, yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. It does, yeah. All right. Have a nice. Wait, I can do that? Oh no, wait, that's probably... Yeah, okay, I know what that is. Anyways, getting food. Have a nice rest of your evening. Take care as well, what's up. See you all hopefully tomorrow for a little bit more on the grid. And then let's call it done with the grid, hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye, take care, see you tomorrow.